Hello, and welcome to the wizarding world of Strixhaven. I am your hostess with the mostest, Necrozach, and this is the Into the 99 podcast, where we've got 99 cards because Commander is number one. We are joined, as always, with our other hostess with the mostest, but not as mostest as me, of course. Well, I was going to say Brian, but Brian's off hunting elk or moose or meese or whatever you guys is.
He's on a spirit quest.
He's on a spirit quest. All right, well, we have Dan, Ryan, and Tony. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, doing
fantastic.
Doing pretty good. Everyone has seen that they're already spoiling Strixhaven stuff because we can't just enjoy a release set without the next one shoved down our throat. But today, we're going to talk about it because there's some interesting things. It's news. It's Strixhaven. So, yeah, Zach, kind of tell us what the set is about as like an overview. Like, where are they going?
Okay, so from my understanding, we just, last week? No, a couple days ago, my bad. We actually got an article posted on Wizards' home site where they're talking about Strixhaven and what it kind of looks like. And from what I'm gathering, this plane is basically just another magical plane, obviously, but this one is dedicated to different schools of magic, and it looks like we're getting 5 different schools. 1, 2, 3, 4, and yes, 5 that all already exist color-wise in the Magic universe. We're getting, you said, what was it, Tony? Or
the enemy or
enemy
ally?
Colored?
Yeah.
So we have. I'll just give what they're. No, I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these names because I'm not going to embarrass myself on podcast more than I already do.
I'll go for them. Where are they here? So we've got Silverquill, which is Orzhov, Prismari, which is Izzet, Witherbloom Golgari, Lorehold Boros, and Quandrix as Simic.
So this seems pretty exciting. It's another, with us being commander players, we absolutely love our dual and tricolor commanders, so it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of love for these colors that already have very strong foundations in our format, which means other commander decks are probably going to get a lot of really cool stuff. Along with this information that was shared to us by Wizards, we also got to see some of the key art for the new set, as well as we are getting a cycle of commands like we got in the Tarkir set, or Tarkir block, I should say. And it's already kind of given us an idea of what to expect from each college and kind of which ones are already going to be super lacking, I feel like. But not in art. The art is definitely perfect.
So we'll go into what they actually are. We'll start with the one. We'll do Lorehold command. Number 1, it's Boros. Give it a lower CMC. Everything else has a good CMC, and they're like, Boros, jack it up to 5. It's 3 in Boros for an instant, and then all of these are modal. It's create 2, so you choose 2, sorry. Option 1 is create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, or creatures you control get 1/0 and indestructible and haste, or 3 damage to any target. That target player gains 3 life, and then sacrifice a permanent, draw 2 cards. Had this been down at the 3 CMC, it would have been killer. And Zach, I'll let you explain the best meme for it.
So if you are seeing this, or if you're following along with us, there is what appears to be a dwarf holding a scroll that's also a Gatling gun. And I'm a very big It's Always Sunny fan, and there's a meme of this card with Danny DeVito's head. So it just came out blasted and floating around the internet.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Love it. So with, like Dan was saying, we got this Lorehold command. What's neat too is Wizards also gave us some snid bits for the school. So I'm just going to go ahead and read those since every bit of information is going to help us.
Do we want to do all the commands first and then go into the schools and our predictions, or do we want to go back and forth?
I think we should do I think reading the cards fine, then reading what the school is, so that we can.
So we'll go into Lorehold first.
Yeah. So Lorehold is the name of the first college. Loreholds are diligent researchers and daring adventurers, passionate scholars obsessed with history. They explore the past by poring over archaeological artifacts and summoning long-dead spirits. For some students, the past is rich tapestry worthy of disciplined study, while others wear the tapestry like a cape as they jump into a forgotten tomb. Their motto is "Leave no stone unturned." And we kind of can see all that in this card, right? We can see where they're talking about where I just read this. The
There-
spirits with creating spirits, the typical Boros stuff, being able to like maybe you turn a stone, sack something, find treasure. That's where you're drawing your card. So I would say that while this feels like it is overcosted, they did do a very good job with like, here's the command, here's what you can expect from Lorehold, here is their whole ideology, and it is well represented in this card.
Its effects are pretty cool, and I love the artwork. Like, it's very 40K-esque without like the Space Marine style armor, right? But like those big scrolls, I looked at it instantly and I was like, I can get down with this. It also looks like we're going to see a lot of non-humanoid creatures on the plane. There's this giant elf mage thing, or not elf, elephant mage thing on the artwork, and I'm very into it.
I'm assuming that we're going to see more Luxodon, which will be very exciting. Like we did get that, with Guilds of Ravnica, D&D got the Luxodon as a playable race, so I'm really hoping they're going to push, we get more Luxodon.
And actually call it Luxodon, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like this Babar looking guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So since we're kind of already going like command and the school, do we want to do a little bit of prediction now since we've already got it fresh right here?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see just general Boros shenanigans. We're probably gonna see some fire breathing. I think we are gonna see a bunch of haste enablers, token generation, and like little aggro, like weenie strategies kind of thing. I think that a lot of we're gonna see a lot of not Helix Pinnacle. What is the Lightning Helix? A lot of those kind of effects, right? And that's kind of already stapled a little bit into this card. I feel like we're going to get some good life gain from it.
I think they too say like when they're talking about pouring over archaeological artifacts and summoning long dead spirits, I think we might get to see some really cool legendary artifacts and maybe some kind of like Karmic Guide Revelarchy type effects, bringing stuff back from the graveyard.
Honestly, something like a Sunforger style artifact where it lets you equip and then pay to go search a library for something. That'd be a pretty cool artifact for them to have found. It's like we said before on many other episodes, they have to set up, the Gatewatch is done, that segment of the story is done, so they're going to be trying to set up new legends and new planeswalkers for the future stories, and it looks like we are starting to see that. We'll go into some of the packaging a little later on, but I am really hoping to see some really cool legendaries that stick out, because we've had so many good ones in the past, right, and they just can't infinitely rely on them.
It'd be cool too if they... Go ahead, Lotus.
Yeah, in the artwork of the actual Lorehold command, there's some kind of giant Titan golem. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any of the... when you were in Kaldheim, you had the Titans. I can't remember their name.
Like Uro and... Kaldheim? I don't even know what Titans were.
Yeah, no, but they had some big mechanical Titans back on Aether Revolt.
Oh, yes, the Gearhulks.
Gearhulks, that's the one.
Love the Gearhulks.
It reminds me of something like that.
Oh, that'd be awesome, yeah.
Big old Mechazoids.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if we'll get a callback, or if we'll get Prowess in this set pretty heavily. Because Prowess was, obviously big in Tarkir, and this already feels like with just the commands, we're already having that kind of a feel, right?
Tarkir 2.0 on a different place. Well, Tarkir gave us a lot of really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I would be curious with Lorehold. I think we'll end up seeing a lot of like looting type effects, or now that we've really been pushing like treasures in a lot of these previous sets, it wouldn't surprise me that this is going to be, our draw a card, discard a card, make a treasure token, that kind of stuff.
Well, and it's interesting you say looting, because like you said, they're archaeologists, right? They're digging up old facts. I think you're right. I think there is going to be a lot of loot effects, right, to try and find those treasures. I didn't even consider that, but I do think you're right with treasures being pushed so much, with Goldspan Dragon just coming out. I think they are going to keep it going.
And Wizards has made it very clear, or at least they have been trying to make it clear, that they're doing everything they can to make the community feel better about White and its card draw and its ramp. So with us having a Boros guild, for lack of a better term, or college, sorry, I feel like this is going to be the set where they're really going to try to push harder on like, here's what you're going to expect for white ramp moving forward. Here's what you're going to expect for white draw moving forward. And to do that, I think they're going to utilize red very heavily to get there.
Well, if you were going to shove draw into white, this is the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be neat if they could also come up with an ulterior use for treasures, like have something that creates the treasures, then you could sack the treasures to do something other than just mana, like a creature that you could sack like 3 treasures to bring back an artifact from your graveyard to play.
That would be pretty cool, like an offering-based kind of thing, or even if there was a creature that treasures you control also have sacrifice to draw a card, that would be a great mechanic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or they just bring back Investigate.
Investigate was great.
I could see Investigate working here too, with just like it determines how like they're going to really push Lorehold. Are they going to be more neutral? Are they going to be more like lawful? It just depends. But I could see looting type effects, or I could see Investigate where they're exploring and finding these things, not necessarily looting.
Well, I've got to say, Gatling Scroll looks interesting.
Yes.
I need a Gatling Scroll.
So,
well, you say Investigate. We're going back to Innistrad, aren't we?
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's our next like big set after this, right?
So yeah, maybe that could be
D&D, then Innistrad.
Oh, that's right.
Is D&D after this? Oh
Yes.
man, I'm going to be poor this year.
Hey, and, not to derail Strixhaven, but before Strixhaven, we get the new Time Spiral set.
Yeah, that's
the remastered.
I'm all right with it. I haven't seen enough to be excited. I have a lot of old cards. I'm good.
So let's move on to the next college. How did we pronounce this? Did we settle on a...
Is it
Prismari?
Prismari.
Does someone want to read the command and then I'll read the...
Sure. I'll read it. So it's a colorless blue-red for an instant. It's Prismari's command. Choose 2. Prismari's command deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token and destroy target artifact.
So already there we're seeing treasure tokens right back into it.
And
That's an interesting one.
I didn't even read the commands. I saw that we had commands and the colors. So
I'm definitely pretty excited to see the use of this in Riel. I really like Riel. The draw and discard is going to be great for that deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't read this earlier, but each college has their own slogan too. So Lorehold was Leave No Stone Unturned. Prismari is Express Yourself with the Elements.
That's pretty cool.
The artwork is absurd.
Yeah, the colors are just beautiful.
Yeah,
like
that's going to look great in foil.
Is going to blow my mind.
So Prismari are the... What's that?
Theater.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is
yeah, I was gonna say they're the Izig guild for this. So I'm assuming just more of what we're already seeing, right? Like lots of damage, just like little burst damage, and a bunch of looting effects here too. The destroy target artifact, it kind of surprises me on this kind of card. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
red's definitely a red ability.
Yeah, red's generally a pretty strong destroy artifact.
I feel like though that this card is more red than it's blue. Like deal 2 damage to anything is red. A looting effect is red. Like draw 2, discard 2 is red. Treasures are typically red, and destroying an artifact is typically red.
Yeah.
Well, draw 2, discard 2 is blue. Discard 2, draw 2 is red.
That's fair. Unless you're talking Faithless Looting, because Faithless Looting was draw 2, then discard 2.
I do like the utility on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I have a feeling that you're going to almost always see people do the middle 2, draw 2, discard 2, and create a treasure token. And then I think the other 2 are going to be more fringe, at least in Commander.
I'll probably be destroying artifacts with it. I think that it's a really good spot to add removal into your deck. Mm-hmm. And I say all the time, people don't run enough removal.
I agree with that 1,000%.
I guess what I'm more surprised about is we have a destroy target artifact as opposed to like return target permanent or return target artifact to an opponent's hand or something like that, or player's hand. That's kind of what I was surprised about.
I would have loved to see that, like return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand as opposed to dealing 2 damage to a target.
Yeah, but they can't put too much utility onto a 3 mana, right? Like, I think this is a pretty balanced card. I think it's definitely got a lot of place for inclusion. You're going to see it in a lot of Niv Mizzet themed decks, both like the Niv Mizzet Reborn and Niv Mizzet Perrin style decks. And I think it's going to be a solid spot in just a lot of multicolor decks too.
I can't see any reason this is not an auto include in every Izzet deck.
Oh, well, or Jeskai. This fits in pretty well with most Jeskai themes.
Or even Grixis. Like, it's not super.
Yeah, that's very true.
But...
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit on the Prismari. Prismari, the theater kids of Strixhaven, and magic is how they express themselves. Their spells can be spectaculars of raw creativity or meticulous artistic expressions. All the world's a stage, and wherever their art is informed by mind or emotion, Prismari always leave a lasting impression. Their motto is "Express yourself with the elements." So, I mean, that makes sense. The art definitely, I think, pushes that. I definitely, I don't know. I feel like the Lorehold definitely made, from what we've seen so far, the two commands that we've discussed, I think Lorehold did a better job of expressing the college in their command versus Prismari. But
the Lorehold does seem really focused on, this is what we do as a group.
Mm-hmm. But I guess that would make sense for a red card. Well, no, because Lorehold is red. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're the Law and Order people. They seem pretty strict on it, right?
Yeah.
No, I think that you're going to see a lot of like elemental effects, a lot of things that are going to casting spells matter.
With the them being theater kids and big theatrical spells, I think we're going to see some good X spell dumps in red and blue, possibly. Something that can be like this big theatrical effect or kind of be utility. I think we're going to see Blue Sun Zenith-y style things.
I'd love to see something kind of like fall along the like Subterranean Tremors, where if you pay a certain amount, it does something, and then if you pay more, it does something, and then if you pay even more, it does something.
Yeah, almost the Modal X spells.
Yep.
I just love X. I love mana dump spells, so I'm hoping that we get some good ones.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the artwork, and it reminds me of Weirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
It also kind of reminds me of the art of like Lutrimi.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see Weirds. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. They're a very interesting creature type, so that could really fit here. Honestly, if they're expressing themselves through their magic, that like if they're the theater kids, so Weirds kind of.
I guess we should have also. We'll say what the commander deck names are because they've released the names of them along with them. So the Lorehold one is Lorehold Legacies. So I think we are going to see a artifact, enchantment, equipment style deck for that one.
Maybe with sagas.
Yeah. Ooh, I do love sagas. This one is called Prismari Performance, and obviously they haven't spoiled anything, but pretty excited to see like again a performance one. I would have thought that it was all about being like efficient, reading just the name, but now that I know that it's their style is theater, then I think we'll see a lot of cool things and maybe things that increase for the number of players in the game, like the bigger your audience for a spell.
Yeah, like a big splashy stuff.
Yeah.
Anyone have any other predictions for the Izzet?
I mean, I think it's honestly just going to be, it's going to do what Izzet does. I think, unfortunately, I think even with the way they're saying it, it's going to be a lot of big mana spells, like real flashy stuff, lots of instant sorceries and things that want you to cast lots of instants and sorceries. I think I'm going to call it now. Pick up your Kaza the Royal Chasers now while they're dirt cheap, because they might be really good for this.
Yeah, I'm just excited for more cards for Anala, like those kind of wizard themes decks. I like wizard as a tribe, so I'm hoping that we get some other cool ones. And yeah, I don't know. I just think that they'll be pretty neat cards in the Prismari. Like the Theater Kit is an interesting thing for like the Izzet, which is generally like study based. So yeah, I think that there'll be a pretty good one. Do we want to go on to Witherbloom next, Zach?
We have Quandrix next.
Quandrix
I think is how you say it.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Lotus, do you have the Quandrix command up, or do you want me to read it?
So I do.
Yeah.
Quandrix command is 1 green blue for an instant. You get to choose 2. Return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library.
I love this one.
I think it's got, again, a lot of pretty interesting utility. I like the Planeswalker bounce on a card. I think that's fun.
I'm just imagining if Oko was still in Standard with this.
Yeah, I bet that would be a nightmare.
Is in Commander.
I'll destroy your Oko,
like
not if I have anything to say about it.
I also like when you're some of the planeswalkers that have the just strictly minus abilities, and some of them have like the really awkward ones where they get to like 1 and you have nothing to do with it. This would be a nice way to bounce it back to your hand and get further utility out of those planeswalkers.
Yeah. I do like the utility in these.
I think the utility is very interesting. The bottom one specifically, target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their hand. Like, it's nice because, like, I'm assuming we're going to want to, put instant sorceries back into our hands. Into
library, yeah.
Library, which makes sense. Like, we're going to refill, but also we see, like, we're not going to go over them just yet because we just got here. But Silverquill and Witherbloom, specifically Witherbloom, already have black, so we're already assuming graveyard shenanigans. So it looks like this is going to be a card. Yeah. It looks like these are going to be this is going to be a card that's going to try to help balance against against those other colleges. So I'm very curious if we're going to see a kind of, with it being a school, if we're going to see some rivalry in between the different colleges with how some of these cards are kind of lining up. It sure seems that way.
Well, I think the Simic Graveyard Hate is also pretty interesting because there's a lot of decks that run Reanimator style effects like Animate Dead, any of those reanimate cards, and getting rid of their thing they're trying to reanimate is hilarious.
Yeah,
I love it.
I also really like too. We've been talking about the art, but just looking at the 3 commands we've seen so far, this is probably one of my favorite arts so far, because when you look at it, like Quandrix, their thing is math is magic. That's their slogan. And when you look at the way they're casting their spells, everything is very like hard edge. You know what I mean?
Hard angles as well, yeah.
Exactly. And exactly. Thank you. That's the best way to put it. And even their like school symbol, or like the watermark in the cards, which all these commands have watermarks in them, which I'm assuming is there's their
kind of like the guild
symbol.
look, yeah.
Exactly. It really, they're doing an awesome job, and Wizards they've been doing an amazing job with their art specifically, and really like enforcing, like when we're on a plane, that it is very unique. The characters matter, you know what I mean? Like the world building is definitely there, and I love this kind of stuff. Like, these schools are all very different, and the art is very like showing that. So I'll go ahead and read.
Theirs is math is magic, is that correct?
Yep.
Quandrix, that's pretty cool.
Quandric mages are ingenious math magicians. They study patterns, fractals, and symmetries to command power over the fundamental forces of nature. They'll solve a Rubik's Cube while contemplating the metaphysical properties of the universe, and can recite every number of pi backwards. Their motto is math is magic. So
I like how they made a reference to the Rubik's Cube in Magic.
Yeah, and pi. It's very interesting. I'm excited to see what kind of cards we get here, because a lot of these, the commands seem like they're very open-ended, but so far I think Quandrix command is the most open-ended of the 2 others that we've seen.
Yeah, kind of can go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect for this school. Like, we see the typical Simic +1/+1 counter.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only typical thing.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'm very excited to see how this school is going to play out, though.
I'm really just looking at the artwork, and the guy on the far right looks like a merfolk, so I'm hoping we get some really good merfolk coming up.
Oh, merfolk would be great. I
don't know if you need any more good merfolk.
I do really like the art color theme as well. Like the Lorehold is very, very red-white themed. Prismari is very Izzet themed in its colors. So I do really hope that they have like these really cool designs across the other guild/school specific cards. I think that the artwork on them is really amazing. I think all of it is setting up some very interesting characters, and I hope we see more of them, because they all look unique for for every one of these characters that is front and center in these cards, they all look very interesting.
I'm curious if each for if you're not on the website looking at these, but for each college, you know, we have the picture of the college, the name, and then their slogan, and there's a character on each one of these. I'm wondering if these are going to be the headmasters or if they're going to be like, I don't know, like
these look like the students, I think.
Yeah, so I'm curious how that's going to play and what kind of hierarchy we're going to see within the different colleges.
Speaking to that, I really hope that they have like an Archmage level thing where there's multicolor or at least a 5-color kind of Joda-esque figure out here.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Hopefully it's a change.
I just like 5-color cards.
All right. So do we want to move on to Silver Quill?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit Silver Quill here. The last 2 commands are sorcery speed. So the first 3 are instant. These last ones are sorcery, and I think that they are a little stronger, and I think that's why they're shoved into sorcery. Silver Quill command is 2 and the Orzhov colors. It's white and black. Choose 2. Target creature gets 3/3 and fly until end of turn. Return target creature with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Target player draws a card and loses a life. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. So obviously that mana value is kind of a funny thing. I think they've decided to change CMC as of this set to mana value.
It's a new templating, yeah.
Yeah, mana value CMC, it's the same thing. Like they're just trying to get things easier for newer players to understand, and converted mana cost is a big mouthful to say. So, I don't know. But anyways, I really like the sacrifice theme built into it. I like the drawing a card and losing a life, like a typical black thing. Yeah, I think that it's...
I like this card quite a bit.
It has reanimate. Zach, please go ahead.
Yeah, like it does what you kind of expect from Orzhov, honestly. Like, you know, sacking a creature, drawing a card, and losing a life, like we said, and the reanimate. The only thing that seems kind of out of place is the target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying. That feels
white, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very. The others are very Orzhov, and then you get to that one, which feels just super. Just that's a white ability, but that's fine. I mean, it fits the colors, obviously. So I'm curious to see if we're going to see a lot of like enchantment style effects in this school specifically. With seeing the +3/+3 and flying, I'm not sure what to really expect from the rest of the college, you know.
With this card, like when you play these commands, does the person casting them choose which ability resolves first, or do they resolve in order on the card?
As they are down the card.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't sack a creature then bring it back with the other ability.
They're ordered in a set way.
If only.
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, I could sack my own dude and then bring it back.
What is this Silver Quill motto?
Sharp style, sharper wit.
They are dressed. They are dressing.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all dressed pretty sharply.
Yeah, these
are the Draco Malfoy of the.
I was going to say this looks
universe.
like the Slytherin school.
Yes.
Yeah. The aristocracy.
Well, even just the main character on the art reminds me of like how Draco would look in the Harry Potter universe, right? Very clean cut, very like fancy looking. I'm curious about this school. Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of like aristocrat style stuff in here just already from looking at target opponent sacks a creature. And with sharp style, sharper wit, I'm assuming we're always going to outvalue our opponents with this school specifically. I mean, drawing a card, losing a life, still outvaluing, returning a creature from grave to the battlefield. Yeah, I feel like that's what this school is going to be a lot of, is basically just going to be a very large value train for what to expect from these cards.
I also forgot. I already forgot the commander deck thing I just said I was going to do. So the Quandrix is Quantum Quandrix, so it goes again into their math theme.
Oh, I hope there's a Quantum Leap sub theme.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I think that you'll see a lot of like you were saying, math or like escalating things where it's like choose 1, 2, or 3 kind of style effects.
Ooh, level up.
Cool.
Ooh, I would love level up.
Yeah, that would be
I love some
awesome.
fun mechanic.
This last one is Silver Quill Statement. Not last one, sorry. Silver Quill Statement is the name of this Orzhov deck. And again, if they're sharp wit, they're making a point.
You know, I'm curious. Sharp style, sharper wit. I'm wondering if we're going to start to see bards like more prevalently in this school.
Well, it does say Silver Quills wield the magic of words from inspiring battle poetry to biting arcane insult.
Ooh.
That is bard to the T.
And D&D is next set after this.
Well, Tony, do you want to finish reading that then?
Yep, stylish, intimidating, and tirelessly competitive. These mages are born leaders with razor-sharp wit and natural charisma that can be used for good or for ill. Their motto is sharp style, sharper wit.
Love it.
Sounds like a bard.
Yeah, I would be so excited. Every character I ever built in D&D is high charisma based. If you couldn't tell, I'm super high charisma based. But I'm very curious if that means, like I said, if we'll see enchantments or if we're going to see more instant speed kind of battle tricks, you know what I mean, or even like pacifism type effects with enchantments.
See, I might be clutching at straws here, but the artwork for Silver Quill is black ink swirling around them. And the character on the command on the far left they're holding up a black swirl of thing. It looks like a musical note.
Are we seeing some hardcore bards?
I would be so excited.
Bardcore magic?
It'd have been so much better if they would have somebody in this picture would have had an instrument.
Well, you know, like we've talked about, a lot of us are big D&D nerds, and I've played bards that don't musically do anything. They're all lyrical. They're all yeah. So it's not impossible that these guys are just bards. I would be so excited.
Well, bards are storytellers. You get all the same abilities just by telling a story.
Yep.
Theoretically, we could see some bards in Prismari because they're like the theater.
The theater kids. Oh man.
I wonder how that would be templated on the creature. Would they be like?
They'd probably be soldier bard or human bard.
Well, it's the same as like Yisan. What is it? Yisan the Wandering Bard. Like you put a verse counter to do something.
But I don't think he's actually a bard, is he?
I don't.
Like I don't think it's been a
bard.
I don't think it's been a creature type just yet.
No, but I mean, you could have an ability that is something to do with like verse counters or verse ability to do something. But I don't think I could see like a human bard, elf bard.
Oh yeah, I think that it'd be a very cool creature type, and I think a lot of players would be drawn to like bard themed decks for sure.
Yeah, Yisan is a human rogue.
Human rogue, yeah.
My bard is a bard rogue.
So I'm definitely curious. I hope that's a thing. Do we have any more we want to talk about with Silver Quill, or do we want to move on to the next college?
I really like the idea that they're turning into bards. Yes, I think that's pretty cool.
I'd be so happy.
I mean, I think you're going to see typical Orzhov shenanigans: hand manipulation, sack manipulation, graveyard manipulation.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm curious about, right? So, like, I'm expecting every college to do what we expect from the guilds of those colors, right? So I'm curious, like, and I believe Wizards knew that full well as they were releasing this information, as they're releasing the art and these commands, that we were basically as players going to be like, all right, yeah, like this is what I expect. Yeah. So I'm curious. I think they would sandbag on purpose like this so that, like, yeah, you guys are expecting this, but here's what you guys didn't expect at all from this. So that's what I'm most excited about is, like, I'm glad that they're giving us this base where it's like, okay, yeah, my Golgari is still acting like Golgari, my Orzhov still acting like Orzhov. I'm more excited to see the stuff that they haven't showed yet. Like, this is how they are different. This is why Strixhaven is its own plane.
And I think they did a good job. I think they're doing a good job giving us these commands, making us think exactly what we think of those color pies to trick us. And then they're going to be like, here's all this really sweet stuff. Mind's blown.
All right. So are we on to Witherbloom?
Yeah.
Did we say what the commander deck was called for Orzhov?
Yeah, it's for, Silver Quill Statement.
Okay.
So Witherbloom's motto is "Get your hands dirty."
Love it.
I'll go ahead and read this one.
It's what you expect
Witherbloom...
from Golgari, just so you know that. Get your hands dirty. I love that theme.
Playing in the dirt.
Witherbloom command is a black and a green. For a sorcery, you choose 2. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. I was going to say CMC. Target creature gets -3, -1 till end of turn. Target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life.
I like that card.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm only going to ever... Well, I don't want to say only ever, but the first 2 abilities are going to be the ones cast more than the second 2 abilities.
Yeah, the -3, -1 at sorcery speed is not the best.
If it was instant speed, -3, -1 could be a blowout.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is so good to get rid of something that is problematic on the board or to be annoying and blow someone's birds off the board because you think it's funny.
But I think Zach and I are going to both enjoy milling 3 cards, returning a land to our hand, and then reanimating something that I milled into my graveyard.
Well, it's also a pretty good card in Tiny Leaders because it hits 2/3 of the mana values you can have in it. Mana value converted mana cost.
Even the -3, -1 in Tiny Leaders would be really good.
Well, or even the lose 2 life and gain 2 life, right? You've got a lower life total, so in Commander, it matters, but like in Commander, 2 life is nothing, but when you have 25 life, different story. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's going to be, like you said, this one's going to, it seems the most Golgari-esque. Their Commander deck is called Witherbloom Witchcraft. So I think we're going to get like a lot of necromancy themed things, and I know that Zach loves it.
Yeah, this one I'm already very excited. Like I said, they're giving us basically what I expect from every guild. So I'm super, super interested to see what these these colleges of magic brings us than what the guilds have already established.
Yeah, I hope we get hags.
Or just witches.
Yeah, witches and hags, like Bog Hag or something.
And I'm very curious to see. That's another thing too, like is with how they've been with us setting up for the D&D set and how they've been templating creatures. Like we really need some of these like creature types to come through. Like you were saying, like witches I think would make the most sense to really like push and utilize in this set. So moving forward, we have that kind of stuff because there are plenty of, like I've wanted to build a witch deck and we have wizards, we have witches, but there's not a lot of correlation like there needs to be. So I'm hoping this school will really push that through. So Witherblooms, a little bit of information on them. Witherblooms are goth biomages. They draw power from the essence of living beings, whether that means enhancing nature or exploiting it. Witherbloom mages are most at home riding zombie crocs, picking herbs for potions, and hanging out in the swamp making grim jokes. Their motto is "Get your hands dirty."
Some goth kids, yeah, that's pretty fun.
It almost like the way that they're saying it, like riding zombie crocodiles, picking herbs for potions, and hanging out making grim or hanging out in the swamp making grim jokes. It's almost like they're saying that this guild to me is like a joke.
I love it.
I'm curious if this is going so Kaldheim seemed very serious, right? The last couple standard sets have seemed very serious, and this doesn't feel very serious right now with how they're explaining the colleges and how they're like really going into detail. I'm curious how the story is going to play out and what that's going to mean. Like, are these
feels very battle bond?
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. Like,
so I really think it feels like the creative crew got together and binged watched all the Harry Potter movies and then decided they're going to make the Harry Potter set and make it all like silly and fun before Voldemort gets involved.
Well, like I said,
that's what I'm.
Like I said, sorry, I was saying that we need more new legendary creatures, right? Magic has been a game that's gone on for so long, and a lot of them are kind of done, right? Like you're bringing back a lot of things, like with Modern Horizons 2. We finally got an Urza and a Yawgmoth and stuff, right? But they need new characters. So many people are getting into Magic right now, so it's really easy to attach to a new legendary creature that you just love. I think that this is a really good spot and way to go about it, rather than just, okay, we're going back to Lorwyn today, we're going back to this, back to that. They need new planeswalkers and they need new cool legendary creatures on those planes.
That's kind of what I was getting at with how they're doing this story already and how they're like really like getting us to know these colleges. It's kind of silly, calling these guys goth kids and like talking about how Prismari or Quandrix are dealing with Rubik's cubes and all that. Like
the
it
theater
feels
kids,
very,
the nerds. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it feels very much like a sitcom, and that's the kind of stuff that I think we remember. Like, yes, strong storytelling has always been, has been a big part of Magic. And even stuff like this, where it is kind of silly, like this is the kind of stuff that we remember. This is the kind of stuff as players we're going to identify with,
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that Magic would go back to like blocks though, because this would be such a fantastic set to like do a 3-block arc, and you start the kids all young, and then they grow up, and as they get more power, they become into the legendary creatures or into the planeswalkers, and
that would be pretty cool.
Or depending on how the the architecture, or not architecture, but the hierarchy works. Like they go from being like pupils to like magi to like archmages for their college. Like that kind of stuff would be neat. That's where like this would be a great place for level up. Like I know it probably won't happen, but that would be amazing. Like where we get level up, where you can put those experience counters on these legendary creatures, and they become stronger versions of themselves.
Legendary creature with level up, when it hits max level up, flip the card, it's a planeswalker on the other side.
I'd be fine with that.
They have said that we will see the modal double face cards in this set, and that would be such a cool mechanic to have it. Like you start out as the pupil on the one side, and then flip into the archmage on the back side. Like it doesn't even have to be a planeswalker; it could just be a new templated type of creature for archmage, and it's got multiple abilities and.
That could be pretty sweet. On the artwork, we are sorry. I just wanted to jump in with on the artwork. We do see Will and Kenrith as well. So,
on the Witherbloom?
No, just in the packaging artwork. So
yes,
they will be in the story. Like that looks to be some of the planeswalkers they really want to go ahead with. I believe that I didn't look enough at the lore. I think Kea is still around as well. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I have no idea.
Anyone correct me? We have Tyvar, who's a new planeswalker. So I'm interested to see if Tyvar will show up on this plane. There's the Nico Aris as well. Could be interesting to see. Cosmina, I think, as well will be on this plane.
Be an easy one to move over.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the Mystical Archive next?
I want to do the packaging first, because I just want to talk about what's on the packaging. So obviously, like I said, is Will and Rowan Kenrith. Then there's going to be theme boosters again. And I love theme boosters. I thought they were really cool. The ability to get things that are more in the colors you actually want rather than boosters, I have always thought is good. So we will go through. Is there anyone wants to talk about specifically? Everyone knows what one I want to talk about.
Did you just want to do the bear?
Yeah, I'll start it off with the bear. There's a bear with a monocle. If it's not a legendary creature, I'm going to lose my mind.
It's an uncommon. It's an uncommon.
Oh, I don't even care. As long as it's a legendary uncommon, I will build it regardless of whatever its effect is, if it's a legendary creature. And if it's not, I will write a complaint letter. This bear is, exactly like they were saying, it's experimenting. He's in the Golgari theme pack. This is a cool looking bear. And like the monocle, I saw this artwork and I was like, well, I'm going to buy a lot of this set. If bear is like a prevalent creature type in this set, ooh, you got my money. Yeah.
I really like the Strixhaven, the Prismari theme booster with the owl mage.
Oh god, yes.
Yeah, the theater kid. That's a well-dressed owl too.
Such a cool card. I don't know if it'll be any good, but I need one.
I hope they're legendaries. The Silver Quill one, you're, again, another very well-dressed mage. I can't really tell what their magic is that they're doing, but again, like another cool-looking, probably legendary creature. You have a female archaeologist on the Boros one. And then you got some guy just really, really going through it in the math with the Quandrix one. He's got calculations. He's got maps up. Like he's doing it all.
Is Silver Quill's theme music ZZ Top's Well-Dressed Man? Sharp Dressed Man.
It should be. There's, like I said, I think their uniforms, like I love the bear look. I love that owl, but like the Silver Quill, like they definitely have the most refined look in all of it. Like you can tell these are all self-respecting snobs, and I dig it.
They got money.
Yeah.
So, that was our initial take on the packaging. So
There's still more packaging. Don't be crazy.
there's still more packaging?
Yeah, that was the theme booster. So we go down into the actual card booster, and the 5 that are revealed actually go a lot with the predictions that you guys were making. The Strixhaven one that's revealed again.
Okay.
We've got like the well-dressed, like uniformed, very fashionable looking character, but it is those black swills of ink. And like now that it's mentioned that they have that barred potential, that's all I'm seeing. All I'm seeing is that is ink.
Yeah. Oh, what am I trying to What is the
Prismari?
attack? No, I'm trying to think of what attack that bards have in D&D, because that's what it's making me think of. Vicious Mockery.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's exactly what it makes me think of, is Vicious Mockery.
Fair. The Prismari one, it's again a very performance-based, big theatrical-looking spell swirling around their wizard on the front. I love the Lore Haven, like the elephant. Right up in the book, he's summoning an old spirit to talk to, looking excited just to learn about it. Quandrix, again, it's the same thing. A lot of like geometrical, like star shapes in their magic. And then, yeah, that neon green goth kid look in the Witherbloom.
With the weird like toad on her shoulder.
Yeah, like I said, I think that this is going to be full of just some pretty solid artwork, and yeah, they look pretty cool.
So I missed that toad on the shoulder. Will that tie into Commander Legends, where we had familiars?
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that would be great. If they did multicolor familiars.
When you scroll down a little more on that page and you look at the pre-release packs in the guilds there, you can really see what I mean with that ink on the Silver Quill one.
I don't know how they would introduce it into non-commander sets, but it would be really cool to have like kind of like a familiar like they did with Commander Legends, but something more where you can, maybe there's 10 of them and you have them and they kind of attach to your commander to do something really small.
They have that. It's called Companion, and it wrecked the game.
No, but I'm not talking like companion level. I'm talking like something like it increases the casting cost of your commander by like 2, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Or it gives your commander like +1/+0.
Lieutenant effects and stuff. I can see that they will bring something like that back.
Oh,
but something that physically attaches to your commander becomes part of your, like an upgrade for your commander.
So still talking about art. This kind of goes in when we were talking about the different colleges. Wizards also on their page has this amazing piece of art that shows all the colleges and how they're connected, like the physical representations of the colleges. And you can see the characters that we've already seen are like in these different parts of these colleges that fit for each school. But then there's one in the middle that connects them all.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
I have not seen this artwork. I don't know where it is.
It's on the page that I sent you with all the card arts and like all the descriptions.
It's like a map.
If you scroll all the way down, there's the map.
Oh, I had already pulled up my own thing.
It's almost like it's the campus, and you've got the individual dorms, and in the center is the physical classrooms.
You guys just vamp while I look this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really unique. This is kind of another, I think, key piece of art that they've been doing a very good job with the world building, I feel, recently, and this is another way to really expand upon that, because we're all just like art junkies when it comes to Magic, and we all want to have our, like, ooh, is this connected somehow? Is this connected somehow? This just show things are connected.
Now, Zach.
Okay, I see what you're saying with this now.
That center thing could be the Mystical Archive.
Yeah,
could be.
It really could. Oh man, I'm curious how this is all going to play out and what we're going to be doing on Strixhaven exactly, because
that is
with any Magic.
Sorry, you finish and then I'll talk about this, because I'm just seeing
with any Magic set. If we go to a plane, there's something bad about to happen or is happening. So these poor kids are probably like, oh, just got to school, about to start learning how to use my Magic, and then Emrakul shows up and tries to destroy the world.
Well, I mean, it could be
Innistrad. That's sets away.
So if we touch we can touch about the Mystical Archive in a minute, but it could be something that goes along with the Mystical Archive and the cards that are introduced. It could they discover something horrible in there that does bring some big perilous thing to get into Strixhaven.
I do like that silver quill's at the top, like just like those snobs would like to be. Love it. Love that. I love that, like just the aristocracy based set where they're just all, like I said, they're dressed better than everyone. I love all of the look and aesthetic of that school.
Dan, are you building
I'm building every one of these. I have no self-control.
I was looking at the map of the colleges and it sparked something in my brain that was like, it looks very similar to the layout and structure of Battlebond.
Yeah.
Obviously, Battlebond's on a different plane of Kylium, but everything just seems so similar. Like, there's artwork in Battlebond that is very flashy in Izzet colors. Out of Bounds is one of the cards. It's a big flashy spell, and the whole point of Battlebond was not just to win, it was to do the biggest, flashiest thing possible.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Like it just tie in like Quidditch.
Right. It's interesting too because, like we've already said, the Ronins are on, or Will Ronan and
the Kenriths,
whatever.
Yeah.
Kenrith, thank you. They're already on. They're on this plane, so we know that there is some kind of connection between obviously some Battlebond stuff and here, and from just looking at like the Battlebond lands that we've gotten in Commander Legends, like a lot of this seems like you said, the art is very similar. So I'm curious if there is some kind of back and forth. Like, you know, most people don't know Planeswalkers exist. Some people do. Like, I'm curious with this being such a magic heavy set, if people know that the Kenriths exist and that they are Planeswalkers and they are from, you know, I don't know, they're not from here, but you know what I mean? Like, they've been here enough to create these kind of like connections.
Yeah. I think that it's also a good spot for them to ram in a few other good lands. Like, we just had the Pathways, and I didn't mind the Pathways, but I like lands that tap for one of either color.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good new cycle, but I do think it's really interesting that the Battlebond connection and Will and Rowan being able to go back and forth between them, maybe that is going to be something that they've like made these friends here. They saw the threat on Kaldheim, so they know that they've got to train to get stronger for whatever's happening. We did see Vorinclex on Kaldheim, so they could finally realize that they have to deal with the Phyrexian threat.
Well, I mean, if we have... Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking Innistrad, not new Phyrexia.
I would absolutely...
Vorinclex did actually complete the mission and go back to Phyrexia.
Yeah, I didn't... I really should read the Kaldheim story. I did not read it. But
I would be very... Like, I'd be very interested to see if... I would be interested to see if the next couple sets we get like a Phyrexian in each set. You know, like we had Vorinclex and Kaldheim. Maybe this set we'll see like Jin-Gitaxias or see Shieldred.
That could be what's in that archive is Jin.
Jin-Gitaxias would make more sense in this than any of the other Phyrexians or any of the other Praetors.
Oof. Jin-Gitaxias is brutal.
Yes, he is.
Love it.
So I'm curious. I'm definitely curious to see.
Brian put it in a group hug deck. What an animal!
Wow. That's not. You play Jin-Gitaxias. The target just goes like the hunter's mark.
Yeah. You get it out. You know what you did.
Do we want to talk about? The
we do.
Archive?
We obviously want to talk Mystical Archive. It's gonna be.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead with it. But yeah, like the Mystical Archive seems definitely pretty neat for what they want to do.
Thematically or in the story, it says the Mystical Archive, it's whatever area of study you choose, you will have access to our vast library of resources with spells and knowledge spanning all of magic. Some spells are certainly too dangerous and powerful, even for careful mages. But at Strixhaven, we value knowledge above all else and thus have a library of historical spells to rival any other. This collection, housed in what we call our Mystical Archive, contains a litany of spells from simple mind spells to powerful and deadly spells most shudder to look toward. We house them in our Biblioplex, and lucky us, Professor Onyx happens to be sifting through several tomes right here with students Rowan and Will. Normally, only students get a look, but we'll make an exception for today. And the ones that they teased were Demonic Tutor, Opt, and Swords to Plowshares. And then it also says, additionally, we have a significant portion of foreign language students The Mystical Archive is available in all languages, but we have something additional and special for our Japanese students to learn and see. And they, of those 3 spells, they also leaked Japanese versions of those spells that are pretty over the top art on all of it.
Come in etched foil as well.
Etched foil only in the collectors, though, sadly.
So, but you can get you're going to get 1 Mystical Archive in every single pack, and there's a equal chance of it being foil, like there is the old foiling way, not the new, like not where there's a foil in every pack. But like Dan said, the etched boosters will have, the collector's boosters will have etched foils, and you have a chance to get up to 3 of these Mystical Archives in the collector's boosters.
It says at least 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the collector boosters, they should be definitely valuable. What were the 3 that were spoiled again, sorry?
It was Demonic Tutor, Opt, and Swords to Plowshares.
Demonic Tutor with a reprint is definitely something very welcome.
And I have to get a Demonic Tutor in this artwork.
And honestly, Swords to Plowshares is wonderful as a card.
Yeah.
Demonic Tutor also has been templated differently as well. It reads now, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle.
Doesn't even say shuffle your library. So what do I shuffle? Just my hand? It doesn't really impact our format, but these are also, if you play draft or sealed and you open one of these, you can include it in your draft deck or your sealed deck. But they are not legal. They're only legal in the formats that they're legal in as far as the constructed formats.
Yeah, flat out also the fact that they house them in the Strixhaven Biblioplex. It's a baller word. I can't. I was real happy. As soon as you said it, I was like, Biblioplex, I was like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. That middle thing is it's the Biblioplex. That's the Mystic Archive where they all go to crack open some bonkers spells.
We're gonna definitely see a legendary guardian of it then for sure.
So it sounds like Professor Onyx.
Onyx is
the
keeper of the. Who is Professor Onyx?
No idea. Ooh. We'll find out. That demonic tutor art, hard words. Demonic tutor art looks just wonderful. So does the Swords to Plowshare. I really like it.
And the Japanese versions are beautiful.
Oh yeah, this does further though, like, go to my point that Wizards is noticing how much people like proxies and alternate art versions of things, because they are really, really jamming them into us. And these are artwork wise what you would see in like a solid proxy maker. And yeah, I think that they look cool. I like this new Masterpiece series.
Don't quote me on this. I swear I saw it somewhere, but now I can't find it. But there's, I think, 64 different spells.
63.
60. So I was close. I did see something. So there's 63 different spells that are going to be included into this. So I'm wondering what
else they're going to shove in.
Well, it's not even so much what else, it's what the insert rarity is going to be. Like, I know that like Demonic Tutor is a mythic, but is it going to be, are we going to get like an average 3 to 5 mythics per box in the Mystical Archive, or is the rarity level going to be different?
Oh, there's no way we're going to get three mythics on top of our normal mythics. That's definitely not happening. Those the mythic ones will be very rare, and I'm certain they'll jam Cyclonic Rift in it. They just to make me furious. They're like, all right, we're making bears, and I'm like, go on, and they're like, and Cyclonic Rift.
Oh.
So we're guaranteed one of these cards in every booster. One of these types of cards.
Yeah. Also, if you buy a collector's booster packet, you get a chance of getting one of the Japanese ones. I think you get one Japanese one in a collector's booster in England or America.
Oh, I think
here?
I think what you had said, Lotus, that this might be the first time I buy a collector's booster.
This is the first time I might actually buy a collector booster box instead of a draft one.
The distribution of them is
sugar daddy.
The distribution is you'll receive one copy from its own dedicated slot in each draft and set booster, and at least 3 in each collector's, as Mystical Archive cards are bonus cards in each draft and set. They don't replace another card with the same rarity in the pack, so you can get multiple rare cards and draft boosters. Japanese variants for Mystical Archives will be found in the Japanese draft, set, and collector boosters, and at least one will come in collector boosters in all languages. In Japanese draft, set boosters, draft and set Mystical Archives and Japanese alternate R versions will appear at equal rates.
Before we end the show, guys, I'm just curious. Does anybody know someone that buys kidneys?
Hmm.
I think I'm going to have to sell one of mine to afford a collector's booster.
Yeah, April 23rd is the release date, so at least we have, like, I don't know, a month to save for
I
these
don't even have that,
5 commander decks.
My one FLGS will sell out. He's probably already sold out of them. And they seem to be reducing the allocation to game stores on the collector's booster. I think the last for Kaldheim, he got four collector's boosters, and that's all he was allocated.
I'm pretty much a standing order for anything commander. Just put it down and I'll buy it. It's definitely a pretty good pre-order system I have set up. They just know, hey, Daniel, you owe us a few $100. All right, cool.
I'm aware.
But
do they have your credit card on file? They just bill it and just say
that would probably be more responsible than how I spend at the game store, though. Oof.
Or you could have like set up with your work that a portion of every paycheck just goes into an escrow fund for your game store.
It already does without that setup. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Zach, let them know where they can find our stuff.
Okay, you can find us on Twitch at Insta99. You can find us on Instagram at Insta99. You can find us on the internet at Insta99.com, where we have amazing articles by amazing people in the community. If you like what we do, you can listen to us on Apple's podcast stuff, Spotify. If you want to support us financially, we have a Patreon. We have a bunch of different tiers we've been working very hard on to give you guys the best things for your buck. We have merch, so if you like us and you want to rep us everywhere, go to our merch store and buy things that have our stuff on it. Let's see what else. We stream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. MST. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, you're too modest. Yeah, we have 2 shows as well. Also, we have Brewing It Live with Lotus. Check those out on the YouTube, and also Parallel Thoughts with Benson and Zach, also found on our YouTube. Check them out, leave some love, and again, thank you guys so much for listening.
Also, check out Etch Gaming, one of our sponsors. Their store is Etch Gaming on Etsy. They have a lot of amazing products, like these cool commander trays and lots of other things.
Also, check out xlevelhobbies.com for all your card needs.
People just love our stuff, yeah.
And be kind to each other.
Love
Unless
each other.
you play stacks.
Brew magic and have fun.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Embrace stacks.
Take care.
Good night.
Night.